verbal riot.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to Verbal Riot. As some of you might know,
Verbal riot.
What's happening, guys, and welcome to Verbal Riot. As some of you guys know, D23 is happening right now. And for those who don't know what that is Disney's lame version of Comic-Con. It's their Comic-Con, basically. And like with any con, trailers are dropped and new information is thrown out there to social media for us to eat up. And Disney dropped a few of them today, actually. Even as I'm talking right now, there are announcements being made. So this thing is live, like it's happening, right? But this particular video, I'm going to talk about Snow White, right? And I know that's weird for a guy like me to talk about a Snow White movie because, you know, I'm not their target demographic, you know what I mean? But this is a very important movie for Disney. Really important, because this might have been the first movie in a while, or at least it started the train of damage control for this brand, right? If you guys remember, not too long ago, the young star of the film, Snow White herself, Rachel Zegler, she made some pretty dumb comments about not just Snow White, really, but just who we are as a society. And in between that, poking fun at Walt Disney. She did a lot of things wrong in this interview, right? And if you forgot about it, I'm going to play it for you, man, because it's worth listening to.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So you guys remember that. I don't even have to play the whole video. I mean, I could because it's hilarious, but no. She, young Rachel, shot herself in the foot, as we like to say. She pretty much put her career on hold by making that one stupid comment. Isn't that crazy how like your whole career could be ruined by one thing that you said? And if we're going to be honest here, she deserves a lot of the crap that she gets. She deserves it because she's very pompous, very elitist in her thinking and her attitudes, probably because she went to a rich boarding school her whole life. And, you know, she's one of those people who never struggled for anything, but yeah, she wants to pretend that she's oppressed, or she wants to, you know, be an ally in the struggle of a fight, because her real life knows no struggle at all. She's a princess, literally. But even with all that said, guys, I do feel bad for her. I do. Like, I feel like, look, we were all young once. Some of you guys still are young, actually, watching this video. But for you older cats like me, we were old. We were young once. You know, we made mistakes. We said things we shouldn't have said. And the only difference is, back then, we didn't have all these stupid cell phones and cameras to record every stupid thing that we do. Now, granted, she said this on a red carpet event. This wasn't like, you know, someone recorded her saying something stupid. She voluntarily said these dumbass things to this reporter, right, on the red carpet. So where's the excuse there, right? But the reason why we're talking about this, girl, is because the trailer for Snow White has dropped. And if you remember, they put up some test screeners, right? Like some test shots of the movie before, and it got demolished. It got demolished by social media. They, instead of the 7 dwarves, they had like these 7 hobos that she was hanging around with, right? Very multicultural hobos, but hobos nonetheless. And of all breeds and of all sexualities and genders and races, just a rainbow of hobos that she was surrounding herself with, instead of dwarves, right? Because dwarves would be too offensive. That's a whole nother topic. But so these test shots did so bad that they went back, and along with the dumb things she said, they almost had to reshoot the whole film. Guys, the budget for this movie is $209 million. $209 million for a Snow White movie. $209 million. Right? Like, that's like almost $20 million more than the Acolyte costed, right? And we all know the Acolyte deserved that money. But no, $209 million to make a Snow White film. Do you think for a second Disney's going to see a return on that? Do you think that many people, especially after the debacle of the Little Mermaid, the Black Little Mermaid, do you think after all that, and movie tickets being $20 a ticket, that Disney's going to see any of that money back from Snow White? $209 million? This is wild, man. And I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I'm bloody curious how this looks now, because I heard that they did add the dwarves now, but I think they might be CGI. I don't think they use real midget little people. Little people. I don't think they added them, so I think they might be CGI. I'm going to get in trouble for this video, man. I mean, I already know. But anyway, let's look at this trailer. YouTube, do not strike me for this. This is a reaction video. Okay, I guess I have to make that clear. I'm doing a reaction video. So, okay. Do not demonetize my video.
Whistle while you work. Whistle while you work. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Wait, are you serious? So they want us to believe. Hold up. Okay, I have some things. I have some things to say about this trailer, man. Okay, let's start out with the obvious, right? The obvious. And remember, guys, I don't have a dog in this fight. There's nothing about me that says, you know, I'm the audience for Snow White. You know what I mean? But let's just look at this from like a logical point of view. They want us, the audience, to believe that Gal Gadot, who I forgot, by the way, was in the movie, but they want us to pretend that Gal Gadot is jealous of Rachel Zegler's looks, that Snow White, Rachel Zegler, is fairer, the fairest in the land, fairest of them all, or whatever, fairer than Gal Gadot. That, see, I could believe a lot of things, man. The poison apple, the dragons, or whatever the hell happens to Snow White. I could believe everything, right? Jiminy Crickets and all that other shit. But but you're telling me I have to believe that Gal Gadot is jealous of Rachel Zegler. Okay, so that being the obvious thing, let's talk about the CGI of the little people, of the dwarves. Why didn't they just get little people? Right? Like, why didn't they just get little people? Why those CGI dwarves look horrible. They look horrible. Why not just hire little people, man? Like I know Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones. I know he made that big stink about little people in Hollywood only getting the role of dwarves or clowns or court jesters, right? I get that. But here's the thing. If you ask any of those other little people who aren't Peter Dinklage, who's an anomaly, by the way, ask any of those working little people in Hollywood, and they'll tell you, man, a paycheck is a paycheck. And by him making this statement is basically scaring studios from hiring little people, right? And they're like, hey, man, we want to eat too, right? I mean, I've seen interviews where these little people are pissed, man. And why not just hire them? It would have been cheaper to hire 7 little people. I'm getting demonetized on this video, man. I got to get off this topic of little people. But it would have cost them so much less to hire little people than to put in those weird looking CGI dwarfs. That's all I'm saying. This movie's not going to do well. It's not, and I'm not being negative. I'm not. This isn't rage bait. I'm saying just from my experience, nothing about this movie is logical from a financial point of view. Now, take that aside, right? Again, 209 million for a Snow White movie. Let's put that aside for a minute. The fact that your lead actress pushed away so many people, right? People haven't forgotten about this video. In fact, now that this trailer's out, that video is going to resurface, and it's going to be playing probably till the movie comes out next year. And from what I've seen on social media, I think Disney's trying to scrub this interview. So if you guys find it, record it, because I think Disney's trying to, put the snip on it. But yeah, I don't think this movie's going to do well at all. I think that look, man, I've been saying this for probably a few years now. I think movie studios need to make all of their talent, all of the cast and crew sign a gag order, right? They're not allowed to say anything remotely social or political until 6 months after the movie's out in theaters. Like these people are sinking like these projects, man. And I mean, I get it. It's Disney. Disney's a horrible company, and in fact, Disney encourages this kind of thing, right? Like they literally encourage it. But that aside, it doesn't help when your talent and your crew are just voluntarily saying dumb things to screw you out of profit. So anyway, I just don't think it's going to do well. I think that, don't get me wrong, people will go see it, but remember, guys, like for them, and I think that number, that 209 million, I think that's low, and I don't think that's the right number. I think it's higher, if we're being honest, with all the reshoots and everything. I think that number is way higher. There's no way Disney makes a profit off of this. This is going to be dead on arrival. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be talking about all the things coming out at D23. Like I said, even as I'm talking now, I'm sure they're announcing some new MCU thing or some Star Wars thing. So I am going to record on a few of those, not all of them, because a lot of them I don't care about. Like I think they announced The Incredibles 3 and Lilo and Stitch Part 2. I never saw the first one. I don't care. So there's a lot of things I'm not going to talk about, but I will be hitting on some of the bigger things that are coming out of D23 this weekend. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for always riding with me, man. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, X, Rumble. I do my live shows every Wednesday at 4 p.m. 4 or 5. I'm still working that out. And yeah, anyway, be sure to like the video, subscribe, do all that good stuff, comment, share it, whatever. I will talk to you guys soon.
Bye.